Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. Tonight is Monday, August 7th, 2023. We'll call this meeting to order and we'll ask our clerk. Well, actually, we have electronic participation tonight from one trustee. So, Madam Clerk?
Yes, in accordance with our ordinance, I received a request for electronic attendance from Trustee Petro. So she is participating remotely tonight. So Trustee Petro, we can see you on the video. Can you please state your reason for not physically being present tonight?
Due to employment, I need to be out of town. Thank you.
All right. I am going to start with taking roll, and then we will move on to voting to allow the electronic participation. So Trustee Ledden.
Here.
Trustee Severia.
Here.
Trustee Rigoni. Here. Oh, sorry. Mayor Ogle.
Here.
All right. Trustee Borelli.
Here.
Trustee Rossi.
Here.
And Trustee Petro.
Here.
And Attorney Mahoney.
Here.
Chief Chalepis.
Here.
Assistant Administrator Barica.
Present.
And I'm here. So we do have a quorum physically present tonight.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Schubert. This will be slightly more cumbersome because of the electronic participation. We have a few other procedures by law that we have to do. So the next step here is that I will need a motion from one of the trustees and a second in order to allow they have to be physically present to make this motion to allow electronic participation by this other trustee. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mayor, to allow electronic participation for Trustee Petro.
All right.
Second.
And we have a second by Trustee Ledden. Okay. Now we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote.
All right. Trustee Ledden.
Yes.
Trustee Severia.
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Yes.
Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
All right. Motion carries.
Okay, so we have participation and we have a quorum and a roll. If everyone would now join me in stand, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item that we have on here is what's called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one single motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. At this time, I ask if anyone of the trustees would like to remove any items from the consent agenda.
Mayor, I would like to remove D1 from the consent agenda.
Okay, we'll be removing item D1, which is the plants, residence, multiple variances, which will be considered separately after the consent agenda. Are there any other items to be removed? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Trustee Borelli made the motion to approve it, and Trustee Savaria has made a second. We will go through each of these items so that those who are in the audience might be watching later, or we have a YouTube channel, but also we post these on our village website afterwards. So everyone understands what it is that we're voting on. Then the packets are also online. These are all items that we are actually taking action on. So we'll go to Trustee Ledden for our bills.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the bills for this evening total $496,799.41. They consist of the general corporate fund for $317,256, motor fuel tax fund $7,130, the capital development fund for $44,951, sewer and water operations and maintenance $109,002, Sewer and Water Extension Fund, $18,461. The bills for tonight were about 61% of what they normally are, so lower than they have been. And two more significant items were the monthly payment to New Way of about $140,000 and Robinson Engineering for $77,197, which is 19 active projects that are going on within the village. And that's my report for this evening.
Thank you, trustee. And now we will go to trustee Rossi for an item, for a very exciting item for the Village of Frankfort from the committee of the whole.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Pfeiffer Road Extension Project Bid Award. At its July 24th, 2023 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed the 4 bids received for the Pfeiffer Road Extension Project. The project includes the construction of a 2-lane boulevard road with a multi-use path, sidewalk, street lighting, street trees, and stormwater management between the US 30 and Lighthouse Point subdivision. Austin Tyler Construction Inc. submitted the low bid in the amount of $3,939,594.71. Just would like to add, this road project plays a very integral part in the development of that Route 30 corridor that the village is actively marketing at this time. It's the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to accept the low bid and award the contract to Austin Tyler Construction for the project. The motion before us tonight: accept a recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract between the Village of Frankfort and Austin Tyler Construction for the Pfeiffer Road Extension Project in the amount of $3,939,594.71. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Rossi. Next, we'll go to item D2, and we'll go to trustee Regoni.
Thank you, Mayor. The item before us this evening is to move Pilates Studio special use permits for indoor recreation extended hours of operation. The applicant, Ellen Foodie, proposes to operate Move Pilates Studio, a boutique fitness studio that specializes in Pilates reformer classes, at 18 and 20 Elwood Street within the Granary Village Square. The applicant requests the granting of a special use permits for indoor recreation for health fitness facility and extended hours of operation, allowing the business to open at 5 a.m. to accommodate the operations of Move Pilates Studio. At its July 27, 2023 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded 2 unanimous 6-0 recommendations to the Village Board for approval of a special use permit request. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting the special use permits for indoor recreation for a health fitness facility and extended hours of operation, allowing the business to open at 5 a.m. to the property located at 18 and 20 Elwood Street to accommodate the operations of Move Pilates Studio in accordance with the reviewed plan, public testimony, and findings of fact, and subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant shall obtain a Frankfort business license, and 2, the business shall implement a minimum 15-minute break in between classes to accommodate parking space turnover.
Thank you, trustee Regoni. Now we'll go to trustee Borelli for another Plan Commission item.
Thank you, Mayor. Applicant Jing Wang proposes to operate Vili Spa, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but at 9975 West Lincoln Highway, Suite 3. The applicant requests the granting of a special use permit for a massage establishment to accommodate the business operation. At its July 27th public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous recommendation to the Village Board to approve the special use request. And the motion before us tonight is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for a massage establishment to the property located at 9975 West Lincoln Highway, Suite 3, to accommodate operation of Vili Spa LLC in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact, subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant shall comply with zoning ordinance Article 5, Section C, Part 11.1, use regulations for massage establishments, and 2, the applicant shall obtain a Frankfort business license.
Okay. Thank you, trustee Borelli. Now we will go for one final item on the consent agenda. We'll go to trustee Ledden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this last item is the collective bargaining agreement resolution. The collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Frankfort and the Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council comes before the board this evening for approval. The 4-year agreement sets forth rates of pay, hours of employment, fringe benefits, and other conditions of employment for employees covered by the document. The motion before us this evening is to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of the collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Frankfort and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council, effective May 1st, 2022 through April 30th, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ledden. So those are all the items that are on the consent agenda tonight. We have a motion and a second, and we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the roll call vote.
Trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Trustee Severia?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you, clerk. Trustee Rigoni had asked we remove one item from the consent agenda to be discussed separately, and that is the plants residence multiple variances, and I believe it's broken into 2 at this point. Trustee Savaria, would you be prepared to
Sure.
read that report?
So the item 1 that was removed, plants residence multiple variances, 213 West Nebraska Street. Applicant Ron Plants proposes to construct a new single-family home with detached garage on the property located at 213 West Nebraska Street. A variant form of this project had received approval of 7 variations from the village board on November 7th, 2022, as well as a final plat of re-subdivision. At that time, the project was described as a remodel since the basement and portions of the first and second floors were to be maintained. However, the existing home was demolished on or around May 1st, 2023. The existing basement was inspected by a structural engineer who determined that the basement should not be used for new construction. To accommodate the construction of the new single-family home with detached garage on the residence property, the applicant requests the granting of the following 8 variances to accommodate the construction of a new family home with detached garage. Front yard setback variance, rear yard setback variance, rear yard coverage variance, lot coverage variance, impervious lot coverage variance, accessory structure height variance, gross floor area variance, first floor building material variance. At the July 27, 2023 hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded a split 5-1 recommendation to the village board to approve the front yard setback variance and 7 unanimous 6-0 recommendations to approve the other variances. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting the following zoning variances to the property located at 213 West Nebraska Street for the construction of a new single-family home with detached garage. A front yard setback variance of 30 feet to 12 feet 5 inches, 5 3/4 inches. A first floor material variance to allow non-masonry siding, a rear yard setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet 7 inches for an accessory structure, a rear yard coverage variance from 30% to 32%, a lot coverage variance from 20% to 32.8%, an impervious lot coverage variance from 40% to 41.9%, an accessory structure detached garage height variance from 15 feet to 20 feet 5.5 inches, and a gross floor area variance from 26 square feet to 2,511 square feet, all in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact, and condition upon the garage shall not be used as accessory dwelling unit.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Savaria. Those are actually 2 motions that we had presented there, 2 separate motions. At this, I guess we could address them in either direction. Would anyone like to make a second on either of those motions, and we'll start there. Okay, well, we'll start then with motion 1, Trustee Lynn. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the first motion, which is the front yard setback. And so we can have discussion amongst the trustees at this point. Before we, sorry. Trustee Rigoni, would you like to go forward?
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to separate the two. As my time on the Plan Commission, I was there in November 7th of 2022. The front yard setback variance was the only variation that I was not in favor of. With this particular, I was in favor of all the other variations. I think we even talked about how the lot impervious and so forth. Even at that time, when it was a remodel, I felt like it was still a new home. And still now coming back as a new home, looking at what is happening on the north side, the variation request exceeding that of the existing home, I have concern regarding that 12-foot. Actually, I think it got just a little bit greater impact of 5 3/4 inches. As I had stated previously then, as a Plan Commission member, the streetscape particularly the north side of Nebraska has greater setbacks and kind of creates this kind of open, more boulevard look. So that is why I'm requesting to remove particularly the first one and breaking it out in two.
Trustee Spark?
So, I get trustee Rigoni's, point on the setback. However, when this first came to us, I did go and I looked at the other setbacks. I think one thing that was omitted from the information given to us is that if you go a block down Nebraska, there are at least 3 homes that have the same setback or less. 115 Nebraska has a 9-foot setback. Actually, the building, which is not residential, next to it has no setback. It's right on the sidewalk. 120 Nebraska has a 12-foot 8 setback, and then the house right next to it, I am assuming it's 117, I didn't get the number on it, was 11-foot 7. In looking at the lot, originally I thought, well, they could just move the house back, but there's no room in the back. If they moved it back, they would be basically 2 foot off the garage behind them. They can't do that. The house currently is already substandard as far as the size. I applaud the planners for building this house. I mean, the lot is small, they have no yard. The plans that they submitted with the front porch, which was one of the reasons why I really voted for it, really fits with the look and feel of the downtown. They've done everything that we've asked them to do. They've put more money into this. They've delayed their construction. To come back to them now and say, look, you have to go back to the drawing board, I just don't think that it's something that we should be doing, and that's where I sit with this.
Okay, thank you, Trustee. Trustee Burley?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I was out there about 20 minutes ago with Trustee Severia with their tape measures. I struggling with it. I also was totally on board with all the variances that were requested. I originally approved the front yard variance because it was preserving the existing house, at least to an extent, and then there was this existing condition, and therefore we allowed it. Now that existing condition is gone, and in my mind it was like, oh, can't we just move the whole thing back? Can we move the house and the garage back 3 feet? Because I agree that we can't shrink the house. It's already substandard. You're dealing with a very complicated lot. The area of the lot is 6,697 square feet. That's less than half a standard lot. So it's downtown is just unique. It's every one is just a challenge. There's no perfect formula for this. And anyway, going out there, the reason I brought up going out there just now is that when you're out there, you do sort of see the impact of pushing it back another 3 feet, especially on the neighbor to the north. I could see some drainage issues with that. It would be less than 3 feet. In my opinion, it would be, in an ideal world, it would have been at least the same setback as the house directly to the west, which is 15 and a half feet. So they're requesting 12 and a half feet. So ideally, I would love to see it pushed back another 3 feet. But there's just so many different complications with this particular lot. The house is absolutely beautiful. It's totally in line with the downtown residential guidelines, which I applaud. I think it would be a great addition. It is on our, Nebraska it does have this boulevard feel, so I do, I'm sensitive to getting these houses closer and closer to Nebraska because it does sort of take away from that. At the same time, given all the other positives of this development, I will vote yes tonight.
Mr. Mayor, could I comment?
Trustee Ledden?
No, that's fine. I actually agree with Adam in the sense I struggled with it this time. The first time I was okay. It was there. It wasn't a lot of option to work with. I'm not convinced that some change could not be made a little bit to get it at least next to what the neighbor is next door. But again, that goes back to an engineer, an architect, and I'm a little torn. I'm not decided yet, to be honest with you.
I guess I'll go next. Well, real quick, I wasn't here for the meeting November 7th, so I did go back and watch that earlier today. And I watched it. The trustees mentioning that they went out and they looked at it and why they felt that variance was appropriate. I appreciate Trustee Rigoni bringing this up today with regard to the change. Unfortunately, what happened when they were taking part of the building down. And, it would be nice if there was the room to do that, but with a non-standard lot, less than half of a 15,000 square foot lot, there's not a lot of wiggle room to accomplish these things. And I think what we're gonna have there in the end is gonna be a beautiful home compared to what was there, and that's what we should be kind of focused on. And I also am concerned with, multiple bites at the same apple when these things come back around due to an unfortunate circumstance. So I'm in favor of this variance as well.
Trustee Petro, do you have anything to add?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would agree with a lot of the comments that were said today, and using those design guidelines I think is really appropriate. I want to applaud the applicants for trying to salvage some of the renovation, but unfortunately, structurally, that did not happen. I do think that taking into consideration, this is a true hardship. We talk about variances and we talk about hardships, and this lot is less than substandard. We've had situations in the same size, and they all result in somewhat of the same variations where we have to look by case in these downtown areas. I would agree with Nebraska Street having that more larger setbacks on different blocks, but this particular block does have setbacks that are a little bit closer. And I always look at where the porch is versus the foundation. And so the setback variance, while it is shorter to the street, is that porch, and that streetscape and the design guidelines really encourage the use of porches and detached garages. So two of those fundamental design guidelines are being pulled through. Along with the hardships, I support the variation.
Okay. So all the trustees have had a chance to be heard. I think at this time we go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote. Or is there? Right now,
Setback.
we are on
The front yard
the
setback,
first
right?
motion, which is the front yard setback. There was a motion by trustee Savaria, second by trustee Ledden.
All right, trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
No.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
No.
Trustee Petro?
Yes,
Okay.
Motion carries.
All right. So the motion carries on the front yard setback. We have a motion and a second, again by trustee Savaria and then second by trustee Ledden. On the second motion, which includes the other variances compiled, are there any trustee comments, or is everyone ready to move forward to a vote?
No comment.
Okay. All right, we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote.
All right, trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
yes,
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Congratulations to the plants, to Vili Spa and Move Pilates. We're all approved tonight, so we'll move on to other items on here, which is the mayor's report. So the first thing on the mayor's report tonight, I would, on behalf as the mayor of the Village of Frankfort, and on behalf of our entire Frankfort community, I want to wish Dolores, our resident Dolores Vasilic, a very happy 100th birthday. May this incredible milestone be filled with love, joy, and cherished memories, Dolores. Our third and final movie on the Green event is scheduled for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, August 8th. The feature film is Finding Nemo. The movie will begin at dusk on Brighter Green. In case of inclement weather, the rain date is 1 week from the original date. The Frankfort Arts Association, together with the community, created a mural for our 60423 Day, which is now on display at the Village Hall, right down the hallway here. You can see it from outside when you're at the creamery getting ice cream, or you're here for the hot dog day. So, the mural is a series of 5 panels. Each one has a number of the zip code, and the attendees at the zip code day were invited to put their fingerprint on the canvas, and then to embellish it a bit into a little drawing, give it a little more character. So, stop by the Village Hall to view that colorful piece of art and read the I Love Frankfort postcards, which are also on display, I think, which really capture our wonderful community-focused celebration. One of the nicest things I heard about that from residents, one was how wholesome the event was, and the other was during the drone show. As the images were up in the sky of different things in Frankfurt, people told me they were brought to tears. And yeah, that was all about connecting our community, and that was for all of us. So, Cruise in Frankfurt continues every Monday evening through September 24th. It's from 5 to 8 o'clock. It's going on right now in the downtown. Our country market continues every Sunday through October 29th from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And this week happens to be National Farmers Market Week, which is from August 6th to the 12th. There's a lot of benefits for farmers markets. Sustainability, they promote local farming. They bring nutritious food close to your community. And it's just a great gathering place for community and friends, and it's a wonderful thing. And I think I may be a little biased, but over the 10, 12 years that I've been involved and see how our Frankfurt market has evolved, I think we have probably the best market around. Our concerts on the Green will continue every Sunday through August 27th, and they start at 6:30 p.m. They go till 8 p.m. And the entertainment for this Sunday, August 13th, is Grace and John. They were a pop band. We had a special visitor this week. We had our congressman for the 1st Congressional District, Jonathan Jackson, who came down and met with constituents, and we're building our relationship with our new congressman. He replaced Bobby Rush, who had been congressman for many years for Congressional District 1, which we are in. And I think we'll have a very good working relationship with him, and we're talking about projects that overlap between the federal and the state level, and that he can help us with here in Frankfurt. And Trustee Rossi had read the report tonight on the Pfeiffer Road extension, and that required cooperation and approvals from multiple governmental jurisdictions in order to get that done. And that's a big part of our comprehensive plan. And we need to work with our congressmen and our elected officials at the state level as well to make those things happen. The 55th annual Frankfurt Fall Fest takes place over the Labor Day weekend. That's coming up. It's kind of a big thing around here. It's Saturday, September 2nd through Monday, September 4th. Now, the carnival starts on Wednesday night, and Thursday night, of course, is the Lions Club event, the Wurst Fest. This award-winning event is sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce and showcases over 300 artisan booths, live entertainment, a food court, carnival, and much, much more. The annual Fall Fest Parade is scheduled for Sunday, September 3rd. It's at 1 o'clock. For Fall Fest information and opportunities to volunteer, which we encourage everybody to do that, please visit frankfurtchamber.com. I think our chief's going to talk about our National Night Out. We'll leave her some space with that. But the final item I have tonight, it's with a heavy heart that I acknowledge the passing of Paula Walrick, who's a former Village of Frankfort employee, a Plan Commission member. I recently appointed her in May to the Plan Commission. A remarkable woman whose dedicated work in the field of community development has left an indelible mark here in Frankfort. Paula's 14-year career in Frankfort came at a pivotal time of very rapid growth and development. Her keen eye for quality and sensitivity to the unique character of Frankfort as a village led to the creation of innovative plans and developments that struck a delicate balance between preserving our historical charm and embracing modern designs. Paula leaves behind not only a loving family, but also a grateful community that was forever changed by her passion and dedication. And in a fitting way, her legacy will continue to thrive in the very fabric of the community she so passionately served. On behalf of the Frankfort community, I extend our condolences to the family of Paula Walrick. And that concludes the mayor's report. And we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for board comments.
Thank you, Mayor Ogle. I just want to remind, we do have some more meetings coming up. The Committee of the Whole will be this Wednesday, August 9th at 5:30. And also on Monday, August 21st will be the next village board meeting at 7 p.m. And as always, residents are welcome to join. We have a good turnout tonight. So just encourage, please come back, continue to come and let us know what you think. And a thank you to the Frankfort Historical Society for a great event last night. Chief will probably talk about that too. So if you weren't, you are now. So congratulations to my two sons who took first and second in their pie eating age group. And that is all that I had tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to the boys on winning that contest. Hopefully they can flip next year. Just a couple of things. I know the chief is going to talk about it, but the Night Against Crime event was great. It was such a wonderful turnout. So many people seem to have such a great time out there, including myself. It makes me jealous of that newest member of the Plants family that just left, that he's going to grow up and experience all these things. I wish I could turn back the clock and be able to do that myself. And the other thing, yesterday I participated in the neighborhood softball tournament with some of my fellow trustees, and I just want to thank Trustee Borelli for all of his efforts in putting that together. He's a busy guy, but he still found time to do that, deal with the changing weather and schedules, and a lot of people trying, he kept everybody informed, and it turned out to be a wonderful event despite the weather. And congratulations to Trustee Petro for making it to the final game. Came up a little bit short, but it's a great accomplishment. I was home in a hot tub by then, but so that's my report for tonight.
All right. Then we go to Trustee Savaria.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish Dolores a happy 100 years. I can only wish that I make it that far. And then on Paula Walrick, our hearts and prayers go out to her family. I'm very sad. 14 years of service, and just recently on the Plan Commission, she will be missed. So.
Thank you, Trustee Savaria. Trustee Rigoni.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to echo your comments regarding Paula. I met her 20 years ago in this village hall as an intern. It was before this edition was even here, and our time through planning always seemed to follow in many communities. Whether it was her time in Homer Glen, I was there with her as well. And most recently, we started chit-chatting more as her time on the Plan Commission. So I would like to extend my sincere condolences to Clay, Amelia, and Cambria, and the entire family of Paula.
Thank you, Trustee Rigoni. I guess I should also add for Dolores Stolat, but she's already there, so we have to do Yes Cheraz, another 100 years for her. So,
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to also pass along my condolences to the Walrick family. I didn't have the opportunity to work with her, but I've heard a lot of different stories, and clearly Paula had a huge impact on a lot of what's happened in Frankfort. So I appreciate it. I appreciate what she's contributed to Frankfort, and again, condolences to the family. I thank you, Trustee Ledden, for your kind comments. Thank you for participating yesterday in the softball tournament. It is so much fun. We had 14 subdivisions participate, and actually Old Town had so many players, we divided into 2 teams, so we actually had 15 teams. The good news is we were able to raise over $4,000 for the Farver family. If you're not familiar with them, it's a Frankfort family that grew up in Frankfort. They currently have 2 young kids, and Missy Farver was recently diagnosed with stage 4 skin cancer. So just this awful circumstance. So it was good to be able to help even a little bit. So also congratulations to Trustee Petro, and she was also instrumental in organizing that event. So thank you. And Trustee Rigoni did pretty well yesterday too. Good job. Yeah, further than we did. I wanted to also congratulate Joe and Zeke on first and second, and the Paralympics. The Paralympics is about as Frankfurt as you can get. I think Ben and my family usually participates because they just get free banana cream pie from Enrico's, but whatever. It's a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be there next year. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Basically, I just want to offer condolences to the Walrick family. Also, I want to wish a special 100th birthday to Dolores. It's incredible and great. And a special thank you to the police department again for hosting an incredibly wonderful event for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the congratulations. It was pretty exciting to get to the championship game, but always for a great cause, and great to see all the neighborhoods out there and the kids cheering on the parents. Sad to miss the pie eating contest. That's always a fan favorite, but championship game did call. A very happy 100th birthday to Dolores. 100 years is a new title, centenarian. So congratulations and happy birthday to Dolores. And I also want to extend just a heartfelt condolences to the entire Walrick family. Paula's passion for Frankfort is pretty evident, and even in the recent plan commissions, her attention to detail and really the Frankfort brand is just so clear, and her fingerprints will be here in Frankfort for many years to come. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee. Now we'll go to our Assistant Village Administrator, John Brica.
Thank you, Mayor. I know last meeting, Rob Peach talked about the heat that was going around, and that's also a good time to remember that August is an active month for severe weather. Unfortunately, Illinois has had more than its share of severe weather this year, so it's a good time to plan and be aware of what's going on. Tune in the news or wherever else to find out. As we were told, Sunday was supposed to be a really bad day, but ended up being okay, but it wasn't for central Illinois. Also with that, to remind people that the outdoor sirens are for just that, outdoors. We get a lot of calls in that the outdoor sirens can't be heard inside a house. That's not what they're intended for. You can usually turn an alert on your phones or tune into the news for that. Secondly, I'd like to announce that the Village of Frankfort is going to be looking to auction off salvage construction materials for the property located at 11 North White Street. Items will include the millwork, doors, and stained glass windows. The public viewing is going to be held on August 19th, 2023 from 9 to noon. All sealed bids are required to be turned into the Village Hall by 10 a.m. on August 23rd, 2023. If you have any questions, please contact our Public Works Department at 815-469-2177. And that's all I have tonight.
Now we'll go to our Police Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I've got a lot to talk about.
Right.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of our community partners and everyone who attended our Night Out Against Crime. I agree, it was a great night. We had beautiful weather. It looked like everyone had a fun time, and we certainly had a fun time getting to meet so many community members. So thank you to everyone who sponsored the event or came out. We really appreciate it. And a special thank you to Officer Thompson, Officer Scamberg, and Officer Riff for organizing the event. We also, at the Ice Cream Social, we were asked to help scoop the ice cream, which was really fun, along with the Frankfort Fire Department. So we'd like to thank the Frankfort Area Historical Society and the Frankfort Preservation Foundation for inviting us to scoop ice cream. And Clerk Schubert is being very humble, but she also had like an honorable mention in her pie eating contest experience. So she did well. I was proud of her. You did very good. So great job to you too. At times we receive inquiries regarding police-related information viewed on social media sites. So we ask residents to call us to verify any police or safety information you would like to know about. You can always call the non-emergency number or the admin number at 815-469-9435 or 815-485-2500, or email us at admin@frankfortil.org. So just an example, in a recent instance, there was information circulating and the matter actually occurred in Frankfort, Indiana. So if you see something and you're curious if it's going on and we didn't put information about it out, feel free to give us a call. We're happy to verify whether or not it's something that's actually occurring in our town, or something that needs to be known to the public for safety. And then I would just like to remind everyone to be mindful of when you're leaving valuables in plain view in your vehicles. We ask that you take those extra few moments to secure away purses, computer bags, laptops, electronics, things of that nature, even if you're just stepping out of your car for a minute. And we also ask everyone to remember to always lock their vehicle doors and to never leave keys or key fobs inside their car. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Chief. And now we'll go to our attorney, George Mahoney, for the attorney's report.
Mayor, I have no report tonight.
All right, thank you, George. Is there any other business to come before the board tonight, from the board? Okay. All right, hearing none. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a public comment, come forward before the board? I understand that this is public comment. It's not a hearing. It's not a back and forth, so.
I'm not sure if you consider it public comment or not. My name is Robert Smith. I have a property that's here in Frankfort, and I was hoping that I'd be up here in regards to my property with something being passed. I've had nothing but a brick wall from the village for 2 years. Adam Nelson thinks he runs this town. He makes the rules in this town. I wanted to put down rock on a driveway. You gotta get a permit, gotta get it engineered. That's general maintenance. I went in front of the workshop board to get things done and engineered all my stuff, because my engineer won't do nothing for this town anymore. Chris, at the last minute, tells me it won't go through because of Robinson Engineering. I says, we did everything you wanted. I'm not an engineer, but you're the one that's telling us how to do it. At the same time, the workshop committee, when stuff was being done on the property, I asked Adam if I could put it back together and make things look nice, maybe leave it looking like crap the whole summer. So when I did go in front of them, they ridiculed me. How crappy the property looks, how ugly the property looks. Didn't even give me a chance to do nothing. The only person that really helped me out was Tom Bartnick. Tom is a great guy. I've been working with Tom for the last couple of months to try to do landscaping there. Everything still has to go back in front of Adam. Next thing you know, I get an email, you gotta have it engineered, and you gotta get a hold of IDOT. I'm 60 feet off the road. Why would I have to have something engineered and even go in front of IDOT? I've already pumped $150,000 into this property to improve it. Village never gave me one chance to even make the property look nice. So I'm done pumping money into the property. What I got going on there, I'm actually gonna move everything out. I'm gonna donate that property now to the homeless people. I sit on 3 acres. It's a prime corner, and then when I move out of there, my own personal house that's here in Frankfort that I've been living in for 20 years, I'm gonna let the homeless live there as well. I believe you live in Tanglewood, so as the homeless are walking around Connecticut Hills and Tanglewood and everywhere else, you know what? That's what the village has done for me. Nothing but make me spend money, and do nothing because of a vendetta that Adam has for me. So this is where I'm at. I spent 150 grand. I got nothing to show for it, nothing. And an engineer that won't even work in this town anymore because of the issues I got on hand. So that property that sits at LaGrange and Laraway there, that is now gonna become a homeless property. And however many people show up there, because I'm not charging, however many people wanna show up there from the city of Chicago can have the property. They can walk the streets, they can walk the neighborhood. Because when I moved there, those homeowners were glad I lived there. Because the people that used to live there were heroin addicts and dealers. The cops knew all about it. The homeowners were never even went outside. They were afraid to let their kids go out. Now the homeowners can actually do stuff. They were glad to see me move in there. Now they're gonna regret me moving out, because now it's gonna go right back to where it was. And then at the same time, I've already said before, I've talked to Adam and other people, BLM can also take the property too and use it as they want. I'll still pay the mortgage, and I'll still pay my taxes, because it seems like the village, you guys act like you pay my mortgage, you pay my taxes. You don't pay my mortgage, and you don't pay my taxes, I do. But you don't let me do anything there, except make my life a living hell. So moving forward, BLM can use the property as they wish. I'm not charging nobody. Same thing with the homeless people, which means the village can't say nothing, because I'm just letting them hang out there and do as they please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other public comments to come before the board tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? We have a motion by trustee Burley and a second by trustee Rossi, and we have to go to a roll call vote.
Trustee Letton?
Yes.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good night.